guys, it's Elena Kimaru. Thank you so much for coming back. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below and also hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post. And on today's video, I wanted to have a candid conversation with you on how I actually started my business. Yes. I've been talking about business a lot, and I don't think I've ever, had this conversation about how I got started and where I'm at right now. So today, this is what I'll be talking about, and you'll be shocked. If you've been wanting to do business, I don't know what has been holding you back. I asked this question on my Facebook page a couple of weeks ago, and some responses I got were that some people usually, especially young people, the reason why they don't do business, some it's because of capital, some it's because of lack of mentorship, they don't know where to get started and all that. And yeah, those are some of the challenges, and I'm very sure some of us have gone through that, and maybe those are some of the reasons that are holding us back. But I hope my story actually gets to inspire you, so that if you've not taken that leap of faith into doing business and you've always wanted to do that, you can get started today. So yes, I started my business with only 416 shillings. I know, for those who are talking about capital, yes, it was as little as 416 Kenyan shillings, and that was back in campus. I think that must have been either 2014, should be 2014. I think I was in second year, when I was in campus, yes. So basically, what inspired me to start my business was when I was in high school. There was this lady who used to do beadwork, and she used to do those paper type of beadwork where you would roll magazines and make them into beads, and you could make earrings, different types of jewelry with that. And I was really inspired, and that thing kept haunting me. I really wanted to learn, but I never knew where I would even get started. So when I was in second year, I used to live outside school. So one of those fine days, just seated in my room, I was like, by the way, if I never get to meet this lady again, and I never get the opportunity for her to teach me, where would I ever get started? So basically what happened, it was actually 12 a.m. at night, and I was like, I'm interested, but where do I get started? So funny enough is, it was a campaign period in school, and I was also sort of a campaign manager for one of the candidates. He was running for a finance position, and so I had a lot of leftover, what are they called? Leftover printouts, the ones that have those, I don't know. Okay, hizo vitu za kufanya campaigns. I've forgotten the name. So I was like, I don't need a magazine. I already have these printouts in my house. What do I do? Where do I get started? So I was like, you know what? Let me Google. That's one place you can get started when you want to do a business. Do your research. So I was like, if I never get this lady, let me Google. So it was 12 at night. I Googled, and immediately the first, I don't know how I just input the keywords and all that, but the first search result was actually how to roll those papers into, sort of now make the beads and all that. And I was super impressed. I had a ruler in my house. I don't know how, and I just got down to it. And as I said, it was a campaign period, so I also had glue in my house. I needed glue, and I needed the magazines, and that was it, and a ruler. So I got down to making those papers late at night. And then the following day I was like, okay, now I've already made the beaded magazine type of beads. But then they always looked good from my previous interaction with what I saw, the products the lady used to make. They used to look good if they were also joined with the Masai beads, the small Masai beads. I was like, hizi sasa Masai beads, nitazipata wapi? And that was LD. I didn't even know where to get started. So one of those fine days, the same week anyway, walking in town, I went to a Muhindi shop. Now I'm hunting for the beads. I saw the shop. He was selling one strand of the Masai beads, and I was like, you know what? Let me pop in and ask how much they are sold at. So he was like, oh, this one strand is it's what? it's 20 bob, and I kind of felt like that was a lot of money. So if I go, I don't know, I always wanted to start business, so my mind was not thinking about doing it as a hobby. I had just started making it, and I'm already thinking about how I'll commercialize. So when I got the small beads, the small Masai beads, I was like, it's expensive. Yeah, but anyway, I went home, I experimented with it, and I loved the results. I was like, yeah, that's how she used to do them. Yeah, and that's how actually my business started. Then now I was like, uyu mwindi anauza hizi beads expensive. I need something that I can be able to afford. I'm only a student. I want to see if I can start a business out of this, and profit also makes matters anyway. So one of those fine days, after the indie shops, every time I went to a shop, it was a indie shop, and they were selling them at the same prices, nothing much, nothing less anyway. So one of those fine days I went to the bank, and then I decided to take a very small to like a small street. I entered the small street over there, and then as I was walking past, I just saw them in front of me. Like it was zilikuwa zimehangiwa. It was a jewelry shop, and they had hung those, those paper beads, like a complete necklace, and they looked so good. I was like, what? And they were colored, they were so colorful. I was like, yeah, let me check. So I stopped by the shop, and then funny enough, they had displayed the completed jewelry outside, but the shop was a bead shop, like all types of beads, African beads, Masai beads. I was like, Jehovah, this is it, this is what I have been looking for, so so I got there, I got into the shop. I met the lady, she's called Lynette. She has a shop in Eldoret, it's called The Net. So I went into the shop, and I was like, oh, sasa unauza nini? Then she was like, oh, we are selling beads, blah blah blah. And of course I could see a lot of the stuff she was selling for myself. And then funny thing is, she was making stuff like handmade jewelry. She was making it as she sells. And then what sparked me was the fact that there was beads that were being sold at a less cheaper price than the Muindi ones. So I was like, how much are these? Like 50 bob, 20 bob, I was like, nipatie color green ya 20, nipatie, I started selecting different types of colors that I wanted. And then Lynette gave me the colors. And also what happened is, as I was there ordering stuff so that I could go and continue with my venture, is I was observing what she was doing, because as I said, she was making jewelry, and then and then now I was like, I went on, I went ahead and bought more stuff, like more African beads, and I didn't even know where to get started. But as I was observing, I was like, I didn't even tell her I don't know how to make these things. I just pretended that I knew. Then there's a specific, when you're doing jewelry, handmade jewelry, there's specific tools you use. So there was these pliers she was using to fold the wires and all that. I never even asked her whether she has those wires, because I didn't want her to think I don't know what I'm doing. And so I left, and then I started working in different hardwares, looking for that specific pliers. I looked for it, and I didn't even find that specific pliers around those, So I went to one hardware that gave me something close to that, but it wasn't that type of pliers. And I took it home. I started using that one, and I went to her shop a couple more times. So one of those fine days, I was like, now by the way, do you have that round nose pliers that you usually use? She was like, yeah. At least when you ulikuja ya kwanza, I actually had the wire. I was like, what? No, not the wire, I had the pliers. I was like, what? I didn't know. And I was like, yeah, if you had asked, I would have given you the pliers. So I was like, how much is the pliers? It's 200. It's 200, and that's how I bought the pliers. But anyway, going back to the first day I went to her shop, I bought materials worth 416 shillings, and that's how I got started. So I went to my house, I started experimenting with the wrong pliers, made different stuffs. And then now I started asking myself a question. So I am making things, where do I take these things? And then I started wearing them to class for lectures. I would wear the earrings to lectures, and people would be like, oh, where did you get these things? I was like, oh, by there I make them. So because I saw my friends, or people I went to class with were interested in the beadwork, I said now coming to class with some of the products that I had made. And then they'll be like, how much are you selling them at? It was only like 50 bob, 100 bob, depending on the materials that I had used, the labor and all that. Yeah, and guess what? That's how my small business started. And yeah, so literally I was a student and I became a hawker in school. So what I used to do is that I used to go to my room, because as I said, I used to live outside school. So I would go to my room, I would make the jewelry, especially at night. I would make the jewelry at night, sometimes even up to 3 a.m. and I have a class at 7 a.m. and then I would go to class, sell it, and then probably go home. And then later in the evening, when I'm sure like all students are back in their hostels, I'll go back to the hostels, to school, and then I'll go knocking at people's doors. I'm like, yo, now the earrings, necklaces, bangles, you know, and then they'll be like, how much are you selling them at? And I would tell them, and a lot of times people used to buy, but some of those times I would go to rooms where people would be like, can we see, and then they would like select everything, they would like take everything apart, and you know, and then they'll be like, we didn't find something we were interested in, you know. I'm like, what, you didn't find? I'm like, okay, next time maybe. Yeah, so yeah, basically that's how my business started. And it wasn't easy, but I persisted and I kept doing that. So I don't know where you are stuck at. Do you have like a business idea you've been thinking about, or something you want to do but you feel stuck? I feel like we as young people, we have a lot of opportunities. We have different ways we can do different things, and sometimes you have to just be vulnerable. You have to put yourself out there regardless of whether you know what will happen or not. You have to take that first risk and that first step, because if you don't, you never know what would happen to you. If I had not done that, I would not have actually known if I was good at it or not. So basically what happened is, along the road, I would go to Lynette's shop, I would see her make different things and all that. Sometimes I would actually buy some of her products that she had already made, and then I would go to the house, try to make something similar or even modify. And I would say Lynette, in an indirect way, without her even knowing, kind of mentored me, you know. And I never even used to ask her like, how do you make this? That was a very rare question, but I would just go there, take my time, observe. I would make my orders with no hurry, you know, buy different things. I'll be like, oh, give me that. And sometimes when I felt like I was not able to do a particular design, that's when I'll be like, no, by the way, how do you do that one? And then she would give me a little explanation, and I would go ahead and do it. So I would say like starting my business was sort of a lot of self-learning and a lot of trying different things and learning and taking that risk. And yeah, I guess that's what is most important. Take the risk and just get started. That was a very, very, very important lesson for me. And again, don't give up. When you're doing business, there's a lot of discouragement along the way. Sometimes you would make things and people would be like, nimbaya, we don't want. Because I remember even when I would go to my class, my lectures, and I would take the jewelry to students we were in the same lecture with. And some would be like, we don't wear handmade stuff. Yeah, we don't wear handmade stuff. I'm like, okay. Some would be like, we don't wear that. And then like 2 weeks later, you'll find them with something similar from China. Yeah, it was discouraging. But then again, your customers are your customers. You'll get the right ones for you. And then the people who are always there challenging me, they'll be like, by the way, okay, when I was in school, people used to refer to me as Kim. Kim, do you think you can make some certain design? They would show me pictures and they'll be like, could you please go and try this design and see if it works or it doesn't? And then I would take the pictures or the sample. I would go to my house, I'll try different things, and I will let I would bring them to them and they'll be like, damn, this is really nice, or this needs modification and all that. So a lot of customer feedback also helped me improve on my business. And another thing, if you want to do handmade stuff, you want to make handmade jewelry, hey, keeping your long nails it's not an option. You use the pliers eats into your nails and all that. So I remember I used to keep very long nails. This is just you know, but I wasn't able to do that when I was doing that business. So sometimes when you're doing a business, you actually have to give up something so that you can do something. Sometimes you have to even be humiliated by people so that you can even earn that money. So if you're this person who will be like, oh, I don't want it because I don't know people will say what about me. Trust me, if you are so concerned about what people will say about you, you will never do business. Sometimes you just don't have to give, you don't have to give a damn about stuff people say, because if you do, because the things I heard people say behind my back, and all the things I would hear people say when I was doing my jewelry business in uni, they were so discouraging. And then before I finish, so when I was in campus again, after now I got so good at doing the jewelry and all that, I started teaching people part-time. I would just teach people, friends of mine or people I found that needed that kind of help or a boost. And basically I used to tell myself, one day I'll start a school. One day I'll start a school. Anyway, I've not started the school, but I have started a company. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a different video. But yeah, that's it. Your dreams are valid and you have to keep pushing for them. You have to put yourself out there. You have to let people know that this is what you're good at. You have to keep pushing. You have to make things. You have to do whatever it takes. Never ever stop, and don't give up, because you can actually do it. If I did it, you will did it. Anyway, if I was able to do that and pull it off, I'm definitely sure you can do it. So I hope you found this video inspiring, and if you are stuck somewhere, you'll get started. Anyway, let me know how I can help you. But again, thanks for watching, and if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell below so that you get notified every time I post, because you'll be getting more interesting videos from me and learn much more. Thank you so much.